Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Jing TV. This week Meghan and I are going to be talking about a subject which is very dear to our hearts, really, isn't it? And has been since we started being massage therapists, which is actually the role of emotions in client pain and client presenting issues, and actually how we deal with it. We've actually both got background in psychology, haven't we?
We do.
We've both got a degree in psychology.
Yeah, and I think it's surprising as we look back in our history.
Yeah.
And you know, as Rachel and I have always said, we never really had this business plan. We always had a vision. And one of the things I think that really brought us together kind of as the fabric was that when we were choosing to be massage therapists, it wasn't just about treating people's sprains and strains and that sports kind of element or, you know, injury. It was more about looking at the whole person. And in fact, when we started Jing courses, they were called holistic medical massage courses. And that's really where the work that we do comes from, and we're hoping that people who work with Jing do. So emotions is really core to that. It's really important that we don't think about people having pain from a
just from a physiological point of view, really. I mean,
the psychosomatic is what I was going to get to. Like when people are like, "Oh, it's just psychological, it's
all in
just
your
in your head," and I think that that's just such a poor piece of language that's snuck in to the dialogue around pain. It's like if people are experiencing pain, obviously it's going to have a psychological component. And when psychologically painful things happen in life, then obviously it's going to have a physical component.
Reflected in the body. And that, I mean, that's something that alternative therapists have believed for years. I mean, thousands of years. That's one of the tenets of Chinese medicine, isn't it? That the emotions contribute to pain, not just psychological pain, but physical pain. And it's quite interesting that a lot of the recent research and science around pain is now increasingly showing us what, you know, alternative therapists have been saying for a long time, that our thoughts, feelings, emotions and expectations can really modulate, can alter, can either turn up or turn down the volume of that pain experience, and that is very real.
And I think something that people can really resonate is the idea that if somebody's in chronic pain, like one of or even have had a serious injury, so somebody within the Jing family's stepdaughter's just broken both her wrists, and you know, it's just new, she's young, it's sort of, you know, it's not funny, but you know, the thing she's going to have to do. But if that turned into a long-term issue when people start to have breakdowns of the tissue and people aren't able to do things, then you can kind of resonate with the fact that people will get depressed, they'll feel frustrated, they won't be able to work. And so all of those things start to really have a deep thing and inside somebody. So we can understand how that could contribute. What people are having a harder time understanding is the reverse. So if somebody's feeling depressed or having a hard time in life, that chronic pain would then develop. But if you just think about it posturally, if you just think about it energetically, it's like if you whatever you put out in the universe comes back. And so if people are sad and depressed, then people don't want to be around them. You know, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
So the sort of new buzzwords around this well, not that new, is the biopsychosocial model. So it's the idea that in the old days, it used to be pain is caused by something going on in the tissues, which then reports to the brain. But what we know now is that whatever our thoughts and feelings in the brain can also send signals back down to the body and either kind of like an amplifier turn up or turn down that pain sensation. So the biopsychosocial model means that all three things are important in our pain experience. So bio is whatever's going on in the tissues, psycho is the psychological thoughts and feelings, and social is actually, you know, our social environment. So are we, you know, living in cramped housing, or are we having a hard time at work? All of those kind of
personal
factors all contribute to the pain experience.
So what then becomes the role of the massage therapist with this? And I think what we're trying to say in the Jing approach, and which makes us different than, say, sports massage therapists or kind of a different dogma of touch work, is that we're saying take it into account. We're not saying fix it. We're not saying counsel somebody, but we're saying take it into perspective. And there's a case that Rachel and I both, you know, we refer to a lot when we're teaching, dealing with this, was two clients that we were both treating at the same time for carpal tunnel syndrome. And one of them was 65. She'd lived an amazing life, had got a very, very active life, and then decided that she was going to be like a PA secretary to a small company, and then at some point started to develop RSI.
Yeah.
That's a, you know, easy thing where you go to the GP and they say, oh, right, well, you're doing all this typing and you never did it before.
Yeah.
So, you know, lay off the typing. At the same time, she was one client. At the same time, we had a similar presenting, right? You remember, right? She
Yeah,
was
of course I do.
26,
Yeah,
27,
yeah.
and she also developed same symptoms.
Exactly the same symptoms.
So lateral epicondylitis, you know, it was sort of happening. It was going up and down, then it was medial. You know, it went back and forth, back and forth. And the younger one, with actually a very clear presentation, which happened from tennis, I think it was, or something.
No, she was a marine biologist.
Oh, marine biologist,
So used
so
to
it's like-
hoik things out of the
I felt
water.
like she was also, okay, so there you go, the activity. She was resolved in 2 treatments.
Yeah.
The older
Really
woman,
happy.
really happy, and they knew each other, so that made it all more fun. The older woman, same treatment approach, no resolution.
Yeah.
And really
Weeks and weeks, right? We were
of
like
work.
tearing our hair out. She saw both of us.
I know.
Yeah.
But part of that was because she was feeling really frustrated
Yeah.
that this was the work that she was doing wasn't making her feel you know, satisfied in her life, and it was the work she felt like she had to do rather than the work that she wanted to do. And so not necessarily through counseling, but through sort of reflective practice, like it sounds like you're feeling really frustrated at work. It sounds like it's not something that you're really enjoying. It sounds like the technology is not someplace you want to be involved with. That through the treatment, she ended up leaving that job. And as soon as she left the job,
you know, a role for
no
massage
pain.
is actually a place for people to get people get support, be quiet, you know, time for reflection, isn't it? And that's as much valuable as, you know, as valuable.
So it's not about you counseling them, but it's about kind of seeing that whole picture and listening and just that reflective, no opinions, not directing anybody to leave their job, but it's just like, it sounds like I'm hearing you say that this is what, you know, I'm getting, and this is really core Rogerian
we like
practice.
to talk about reclaiming the word holistic, which in the 90s started to mean like a very light, fluffy massage somehow to Enya. But being holistic is fantastic, taking into
so that's where the emotional
mind,
element,
body and emotions.
Just take it into account, listen to it, and don't let anybody throw you off that track. All right, well, thanks so much. And you know, this is one of the core things at the Advanced Clinical Massage Therapist qualification that we do at Jing, which you can do down in Brighton with us. We also travel all over the country teaching different elements of it, and obviously you can get involved with Twitter and Facebook, and actually some of the courses are now available online.
Thank you.